Hello and welcome to part 2, Tailoring for an Opportunity, which is part of our Get Recruitment Ready Successful CVs series. In this video, we're going to talk about how you tailor your CV for an opportunity. We will cover tailoring your CV, is it really worth it? How to get a job specification to tailor your CV, using tailored language and headings in your CV, and by the end of the session you'll be able to recognise the value of tailored CVs to decision makers, select key information from a job specification to construct your CV, and utilise language from a job specification to describe your skills and achievements. So, tailoring a CV. Is it really worth it? Well, the short answer is yes. Your time is precious and so is theirs. You're better off making fewer but higher quality applications because tailoring your CV does take time. If you tailor a CV, it shows that you have commitment and interest in the role. It shows your suitability for the role because it's clear and evidenced, and it makes you easier to shortlist in a recruitment process. It also means that if you take the time to tailor your CV, you'll soon find whether your skills really match the job that you're going for, and hopefully that'll help you to see whether the job is right for you. So what are the pros? Well, the pros of tailoring your CV are that it gives you confidence. It means you're prepared for interview, more success rate with making higher quality applications, and it shows you do have a commitment to the role that you're going for. What are the cons then? Well, spending time and submitting fewer applications can feel that you're being less effective, and of course, tailoring your CV and any application is time consuming. But as we can see, the pros do weigh out the cons. Now, when your CV, cover letter, testing, any application you submit goes to a recruiter, they're really looking to score your CV and application to see if you meet their criteria. So here's an example of where we have used a scoring criteria to shortlist internship applications. And you can see in the top right hand corner that there is a scoring. So if a candidate has met the criteria and they've been persuasive, then they get a high score. If they have not met the criteria, or if they haven't followed essential instructions, then they get a low score or can actually be disqualified themselves. So as you go through, you'll see that the easier you make your CV and application to read, and if it's tailored, alongside the job specification that they've put out, it means that you're more likely to be shortlisted, and it makes it very easy. So how do you use a job description to tailor your CV? Well, here's an example of a job description which I've annotated to show what we might keep on a CV. So in the job description, what I'm looking for is both key responsibilities and the skills and experience they're looking for. Now, if I start with key areas of responsibility, this is important because it's the ownership that I'm going to have in my role. These are the areas of responsibility, so I need to be able to show that I can do those well. So I can include specific words from the job title in my CV and even in my headings. For example here, content and data analysis experience, the ability to interpret policy, statistics, and multiple sources of information. Am I able to forecast trends and future developments? Now, I would specifically use those words in my CV and I would attach relevant experience to them. Here you'll see that they've been quite specific about the productions of proposals, reports and briefings. And this includes forms such as newsletters, articles, letters, mailings in paper and electronic form. So it's important that in my CV I show that I have a range, breadth and depth of different ways that I may have used communications. And this allows me to be very specific and meet the criteria. Next, you'll see that we've moved on to the skills and experience section. Now, this is asking for me to show my commercial awareness, an understanding of public policy context in the UK, as well as working in a relevant field. So that would be my practical experience meeting my intellectual experience. So I can show my commercial awareness in my CV by showing the different ways or different experiences I've had of working in public policy. And I would in addition be able to show that in my experience, which you'll see highlighted in the blue. Here where it says insights into employability, education, health, social care or housing related research. This allows me to show exactly how I'm interested in a particular field. This could be through my dissertation topic. It could be through publications that I've made. It could also be through research groups that I'm a part of, or my general studies and essays that I have completed, as well as whether I've got any professional experience. So next you'll see in blue that it's actually asked for evidence of strong written communication, ability to clearly articulate a story by bringing together evidence from a range of sources. So evidence is where I need to show some practical experience rather than just perhaps listing this through my academics. So exactly how am I interested? Now in my skills session, I'm able to share actually very specifics about my ability to use certain platforms. So the skill it's asked for is strong data analysis, as well as use of various platforms and software. So in my skills section, I can share the level of use of this software. Because it's asked for Excel, I can include that in my CV, as well as examples of graphical presentation of patterns and trends. So any ways that I've actually used software to present information. So I can be very specific about what I've achieved. Here you'll see it's asked for facilitation, presentation, contribution to meetings, running focus groups, telephone, interviewing and face-to-face. So I would use these exact words and phrases in my CV, again, to show the breadth and depth of my experience. And here it says that it's looking for somebody to work independently, initiate, plan and prioritise, think creatively, offer ideas and make a positive contribution. So I can use my CV to evidence soft skills with impact and outcomes. For example, I can say that I'm a good communicator or a good team worker, but it's much more effective if in my CV I'm able to show some evidence. For example, did I have to coordinate my team to meet a tight deadline? Did I receive any specific feedback about my work in a team from other team members? Did my team win a prize? Did we have to deal with any significant difficulty? Now, your cover letter and interview will be places where you tell a specific story about these things, but in your CV, you are able to show these skills through a very short bullet point of where you've been able to evidence these skills. Now, sometimes a job description will not be available, and this is quite common for very large graduate schemes or employers that have a rolling intake. So the key thing here is to have, if there's no job description and it's a rolling intake, or perhaps you're making a speculative application, then you can go on the website and actually take a look at the information that they give you on their website. So for example, in the What We Do section, I've highlighted the fact that they develop tools and insights, that they're strategic and they work with clients. They have client-focused research, so they deal with research but also have an interface with the outside world. They use data and they mine data too, and they want to be innovative and game-changing. So these are keywords that I could already start to include in my skills. So my advice is to analyse keywords and add in any description to add focus. Here you'll see the type of person they're looking for: intellectually curious, creative, passionate about markets and interested in the research process. They must have excellent written and verbal communication skills. So once again, although they're not sector specific, you can utilise all of your experience to highlight soft skills. So if you're making a speculative application or just not quite sure what the job might be looking for, then the simple recruitment pages for different roles can help you to analyse language to include in your CV and even create headings. Here's an example of a CV that was used for an internship for the UN Women's Campaign. Now you'll see here that it's been set out in skills headings because the role was specifically looking for people who had experience in these particular types of campaign, although no specific job description was available. And you can find this example of the CV on page 42 of the undergraduate and master's level CV and applications guide. So you'll see here that they've pulled out very specific skills headings and experience headings to tailor their CV to make a speculative application. Now, language is also very important, as is framing your experience. So in a role, this CV was able to explore different skills that were needed for a role. So here, summer intern, Department of Modern Literature, Palace College, London. In this CV, they simply say used Excel in an independent project, that they presented the project outcome in the form of a written report. They said they used spreadsheets to track donations and that they found creative ways to explain concepts to groups of 2 to 5 GCSE students in difficulty. But the problem with this CV is that it's not quite specific enough about the experience that it had used. So there wasn't quite enough detail to show the employer the depth, breadth and level of the experience they were using. So for example, where they've said they've used spreadsheets to track donations, they could also actually add some more detail to show evidence, such as here, that they've utilised advanced functions within Excel, such as VLOOKUP and pivot tables, to track circa 800 customer relationships and target future trends for likely contributors in future campaigns. Here, where they say they've found creative ways to explain concepts to groups of 2 to 5 GCSE students in difficulty. Again, it's not very specific about the range of experience this person had. So where they say they found creative ways to explain concepts, what they could also do is add some detail. For example, that they designed and recorded 15 5-minute video demonstrations to illustrate using verbs, pronouns and punctuation tools to give students access to resources outside of formal tutoring sessions. And here at the top, where this person has written that they presented project outcome in the form of a written report, they could add much more detail. They could say they delivered project outcomes and evaluation in a structured 18-page written report, that they utilised data and research to make recommendations for the next phase of the project, which were implemented by the department. So here we have depth, breadth, and that we have some impact of what actually happened to the project. And this is especially important if the activity happened some time ago. So what are your next steps? Read and highlight key areas in job specifications and job roles. And if you don't have a job specification or role description, then visit the careers side of the website and find out what they're looking for generic roles. Organise your CV into suitable headings, whether that be through experience or skills, but ensure that it's linked to the job description. And finally, review the language that you've used. Is it targeted? Is it representative of the depth and breadth of your experience? And does it show impact? After you've done this, you can watch part 3 of the Successful CVs series. And the final part is 5 quality checks to make when building your CV. And this is part of the Careers Essentials Successful CVs series. Don't forget, you can visit the Careers website to download the CV brochure and also to find lots of other information on making applications.